You are welcome to Sunna Technology Lab. This is our monthly meetup where we discuss emerging technologies and other trending issues that have to do with IT and technology in general. Today we have our guest is Malam Muhammad Ubalikiru. He is indeed a seasoned researcher and he's a seasoned researcher with research interest in cybersecurity publications that has to do with publications, artificial intelligence, and network security. He has previously worked at other universities within and outside Nigeria. His areas of interest and specialization include cybersecurity, hacking, forensic, data science, artificial intelligence, system analysis and design, data visualization, analytics, visualization, and few others. Malam Ubalakiru wato babban malami ne ya yi aiki abin da ya shafi harkar wato bincike, abin da ya shafi wato artificial intelligence, harkar tsaron yanar gizo wato cyber security kenan. Malam Muhammad Ubalakiru yana da experience sosai akan abubuwan da ya shafi artificial intelligence, cyber security, data analysis da dai sauransu abubuwan da suka shafi wato technology. Da Allah idan kuna ji na kuma kowa yana ji na za mu iya indicating da ɗan raising ɗin hand ɗinmu. Ok, ga mutum biyu, mutum uku. Yawwa to alhamdulillahi. I think saboda babu lokaci kuma wasu za su iya wato shigowa bayan mun ci gaba da program ɗin. I think Malam, you can have the floor now. The floor is open so that the topic we are going to discuss is which skill or which tech skill to learn and how to leverage on artificial intelligence. Shine akwai abubuwa da dama da suka shafi wato technology ko kuma career a IT. Ga su nan da yawa, programming ne, UI UX design ne, product management suna nan da yawa. To wanne za mu koya? Kuma bayan haka ta yaya za a yi mu yi amfani da fasahar nan ta zamani wato artificial intelligence a daidai wannan lokacin da muke ciki? Malam barka da zuwa. Muna addu'a Allah ya baka nasara. Malam, you can have the floor.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
Ana ji na?
Muna jin ka malam.
Na'am. To da fatan mun tashi lafiya. Ban sani ba ko da turanci ake magana ko kuma da Hausan za a yi? Wanne ne din?
To ina ga gwara mu yi da turanci ko in kuma akwai dama kuma sai mu haɗa gaba ɗaya mu yi da Hausan sometimes saboda akwai wanda za su iya joining ɗin mu ba sa jin Hausan sosai.
Haka ne. Ni zan ringa fassarawa ko ya abin zai kasance?
Ok, akwai moderator ba damuwa malam, insha Allah zai yi kokarin wajen fassara mana abubuwa. Abdul Hafiz.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good morning to you all. Thank you Sunna Tech Lab for the wonderful introduction. My name is Muhammad Ubalakiru and my bio has already been disclosed to you earlier. So I think no need for me to go back and introduce myself again. I will maintain the existing protocol. Thank you for the opportunity. I think this is the second time I'm invited to this event.
Yes, sir.
I thank the organizers and members who always patronize and join whenever we call. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Please, can you?
I'm waiting for the moderator.
Okay. Madam Hafiz.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Ina jin ka ba matsala. Za mu iya farawa sa.
All right. So I should just go ahead.
Yes, sir, you can just go ahead.
All right. So the question that was posed was that how do we leverage AI in our skills today, or in our various workplaces or environments that we find ourselves? If I'm right, this was the question that was posed. So first of all, I will begin by saying this is a very wide area of research, or this is a very wide area of study, which involves or requires a lot of things. So it's not a very direct question. It's a question that comes, or can be interpreted in so many ways. First, I would say for somebody to make a choice in this regard, we have to look at three things. Number one, we have to look at the personal interest or the personal goals of the individual. The person who wants to engage in the use of AI technology today has to have interest and goals. And the reason is because we all work in various hemispheres of life. We work at various places, we work with various technologies, and each and every one of us has a different goal. And today we say Alhamdulillah to this technology, which is AI. It can be applied in so many areas, in so many areas of research, and so many areas or disciplines, including healthcare, finance, entertainment, content creation, finance, and so on and so forth. And then the next thing we look at is the industry trend. Now, sometimes our choice of technology may actually affect our choice of place of work. For example, somebody who wants to work in a data science industry or a cloud computing industry cannot just simply go and acquire any other knowledge. It has to be specific to the industry, or it has to be specific to the trend in which you want to work in. So for that, there are many of them, as I mentioned. I don't want to limit this discussion to computing, because I believe there are other people here who may be coming from other field of study or disciplines. So we wouldn't be doing justice to them if we focus only on computing.
Yes.
So I would just say I will mention healthcare, I will mention banking, I will mention content creation, advertisement, marketing, and so on and so forth. Now, the next thing is the choice of skills. The choice of skills somebody wants to go for. This plays a very important role in this regard. Now, depending on what type of artificial intelligence you want to use, there are various skills you need to acquire. Let's take, for instance, somebody who works in the healthcare and wishes to leverage the AI in, for example, diagnosis of medical conditions, or perhaps detection of certain illnesses, then definitely somebody with this kind of intention or interest has to have a lot of understanding of data analytics, something to do with data science, and then, of course, artificial intelligence. Now, going deep into artificial intelligence, one has to be very well versed in mathematics, statistics, something to do with, what should I say, maybe natural language processing, because in most cases, one has to be dealing with language in one way or another. For example, in medical diagnosis today, if you want to create an autonomous system which allows a patient to simply speak to the system and get a result of a diagnosis, for example, one has to understand the concept of natural language processing, because it is the epitome of AI in that field of study. So basically, these are the three most important things I would like to discuss with regard to this very question. Unless if the moderator has something more to ask based on what I've just mentioned. Please go ahead.
Okay. I think you can continue, sir. Yes.
Okay. If you allow me to run like this, then I may not be able to capture some of the important things you really want to. I thought you may have some existing questions
Yes.
that you would like to pose?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I think the first question is the most important one is which tech skill to learn, because there are so many tech skills out there, and one will just see that today is Python, tomorrow is Java, next tomorrow is UI UX. So that's, I think, the first question.
To answer this question, actually, one cannot just say to any other person that this is the skill tech, I mean, the skill set you need to learn for a particular field or for a particular discipline. And the reason is because this is what I've just finished explaining, that number one has to decide on their interest, what interests them. Because what interests you might not actually interest me. And this is where the problem comes. Sometimes we may want to impose on others what we find interesting, and eventually we end up ruining their plans. That's number one. And number two, I also talk about the industrial trend. What is the current trend within the industry? And that is also very difficult to answer because it depends on which industry somebody wants to find themselves in. And then secondly, which skills does one have to acquire? Now, this question can be answered after somebody have made a decision on what interests them in the first place. And then secondly, which industry or what trend are they willing to follow at the very moment? So to put everything together in one box, we can simply say that in today's world, we can make some predictions and say that a particular field, for example, has more preference over the other. Now, in today's global age, where a lot of social media contents are created every day, somebody can say it's good to acquire skills related to advertisements, because somebody can make a lot of money in advertisements. There are a lot of people who open pages on social media and they cannot actually uh, advertise them because they lack the skills. Now, when somebody acquire this kind of skills, then I'm very sure they will become very, very handy and somebody can make a lot of money. Today in the United States, people are just sitting at home and they do nothing. They have no degrees, they have nothing. And guess what? They make a lot of money, $1,000, even more than that, just from advertisements. Now, another thing is data analytics. Today, we can say that data is almost everything. It gives you every advantage. It gives you an insight about your business. Now, before somebody can dwell into a particular business today, it will be wise for them to actually get somebody who has a lot of experience studying data so that they can make a good prediction for them. Now, take for instance, in the Western world, where betting, football betting is very, very, popular, we can say that nobody will bet his money on a club without going through an AI these days. And by that, let me come a little bit down. What I'm trying to say is that, in Hausa we say chacha, right? Somebody cannot just put their money into Manchester United versus Arsenal, for example, without really understanding or without really knowing where exactly the game is going to favor. So what we do nowadays is we use artificial intelligence. You run some data and then you anticipate that the AI will give you some good predictions. And trust me, some of these predictions are very, very accurate. We can even say 90 to 99% accurate. Another example is that somebody in the medical healthcare who runs diagnosis of a patient's medical condition, sometimes this AI seems to be like, a demigod, if I may say, because they make predictions that somebody is having a particular sickness and this person will be dying in the next 2 months. Or they will say this person will be dying in the next 3 months. And guess what? The person will be dead in 3 months. Then people will be saying, is AI God? Or how does AI have this power to understand or to make prediction? And the reason is, or the answer is data. Data has every answer to your question. When you have the required data, when you have the necessary data, you can make all the necessary predictions you want. So in this arena of AI, to answer this question directly and say that this is the area in which someone has to, dwell in for them to succeed, I think I will be very, very wrong, and I think I'm overstepping my boundaries. In the world of AI, all I will say is that if you are interested in AI, try to get yourself acquainted with the area. And there are some important areas in AI that actually one must understand or must learn before they can understand AI very well. And I say that some of these areas include mathematics. It requires a very extensive skills in mathematics and problem solving. And then, of course, for somebody to work with AI today, one needs some programming skills. And some of these programming skills may include Python. Python has become a very popular language as far as AI development is concerned. There are other languages such as R, which is also very prominent, and perhaps Python seems to be on the lead board when it comes to AI algorithm development. So another skills that I will require, I would advise someone to acquire is statistics. Whatever AI results you acquire from your analysis or from your system development, in the end, you need to arrive at a conclusion, and you have to use statistics to make your inference or to make your predictions. So now I've mentioned three: mathematics, programming language,
Yes.
and then, of course, statistics. Now, another important skills when talking about AI sometimes is data science. Data science is a very important skills. I mean, and you cannot separate data science and AI. In fact, nowadays I say that AI and data science work hand in hand, because a lot of things you do with AI, rely on data science, because you need to understand how the data operates, how the data communicates with the algorithms, and how you are able to understand the parameters, and so on and so forth. So these are, I think, the most basic four skills that everybody requires for them to be in the AI. And of course, it doesn't matter whether you're from computing, whether you're from the health care, whether you're from the finance or from the entertainment industry, regardless of where you come from. Now, one thing I would like to add for some of you who are non-technical, because the moment you mention the word programming, it scares people off, because nobody likes to program. So for your information, there are a lot of tools today that can help you with the programming part. To start with, we can say ChatGTP. It has come with so many advantages and so many tools. All you have to do is, for example, say, I want to develop an algorithm to be able to classify between water and alcohol, for example. And trust me, all the codes will be in front of you within a matter of seconds. So all you have to do is to copy and paste in the compiler, you run it, add your data, and then you get your results. So you see, you don't need programming skills after all. This is one of the advantages that we actually derive from AI, getting things today for free. Now, secondly, another important tool that doesn't require much programming is something we call Weka. Weka is spelled W-E-K-A, Weka. Weka is actually a free tool that was developed in order to simplify the use of AI. It has all the algorithms already set up and waiting for you to, click, click, click. So it's just about clicking. It has nothing to do with programming. Perhaps one thing that you must also know is that regardless of whether you can do the programming or not, you have to understand the programming to some extent, because when something happens during development of an algorithm, you need to understand why it happened. You need to understand your parameters. You need to understand how you can adjust your data to be able to get a better accuracy, and so on and so forth. So I think these are the important things as far as that question is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think you mentioned data science. What is the
Yes.
relationship between data science and data analysis?
Okay. Data science is a whole field of study, like any other field, like, for example, mechanical engineering, like medicine, like, cybersecurity, and so on. So data science is actually a discipline of its own. If we are to define data science, we can say that it's a science, it's a field of study that deals with the study of data. And when I say study of data, it involves everything related to data, how the data behaves, how we acquire the data, how we understand the correlation between data A and data B. So this is everything about data science. Now, the other part of the question is that what is analysis? Now, when we say analysis, now analysis is a practice or rather we can say analysis is a technique or approach. Somebody has turned on their mic and it's really distracting me. Can you please ask them to turn it off, please? Yeah.
Yes.
So when we talk about analysis, we're talking about how we arrive at a conclusion or how we drive some important insight about our and data. So this is the difference between data science and analysis. When we talk about analysis, it deals with a systematic approach which we use in the study of data, while data science is a discipline or a branch of science that deals with data interaction and understanding insights about data.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Yes, from what you said, yeah, you said that it's all about interest, and one has to know his own strength and weakness. Uh,
Yes.
yes. Can somebody just do the SWOT analysis of himself before choosing a career in tech?
Well, it is a very, very important thing to do. For those of you who actually don't know what SWOT analysis is, because I believe not everybody here is familiar with the field. A SWOT analysis is a kind of analysis that one does on themselves to understand their strength, their weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So the full meaning of SWOT, it means strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So what is SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis normally is something that I always advise my students to do whenever they are about to graduate from the university. Now, it is very essential because it allows you to understand your strength, where you are very strong, where you have a lot of skills, and it also allows you to understand your weaknesses, meaning the things that pose you some of the problems that you are facing. And then it allows you to understand your opportunities. What are the opportunities you have that may help you in improving yourself or in making a better personality from yourself? And then what are your threats? Now, what are the factors that can potentially affect you negatively? So this is what SWOT analysis is. So yes, for somebody to be in the AI, I strongly recommend that they should do a SWOT analysis of themselves to understand their strengths, to understand their weaknesses, their opportunities, and their threats. And to give a vivid example, I can say that somebody may say, let me give you example with myself. This is just an example. I can say that my strength is that I can navigate through a lot of technological tools. So, and my weakness is that I'm not too proficient with certain programming languages. So maybe apart from Python and probably C++, I may not really have some of the necessary tools required for programming. So I think I need to improve myself in terms of the programming aspect. I need to learn more programs such as the R, such as maybe Ruby and so on. Now, what are my opportunities? Now, my opportunities are that uh, there are these markets, or let me say these places where AI are being used every day. So the first thing I will do is I will get myself a trainer, or I will train myself, whether at home or whether at a place. And then, of course, I will find some place where they deal with a lot of AI technology. For example, we have these IT firms that engage in this kind of real life project. So I can request for an internship. I think one of our members here is present, Malam Musa. Malam Musa has leveraged from this, let me say, opportunity. He put himself in places where people deal with this kind of projects, where he acquire a lot of knowledge through practice and through internship. And then, of course, for me, I think my threat is that I have a lot of problems in front of me right now. I work and I do a lot of voluntary things or volunteer stuff. I do NGO stuff. I have my personal time. I write papers. I do research. So time is my issue now. How do I balance my time? How do I put things together? Sometimes I get these questions from my mentees that how do you manage your time? You are everywhere. We see your post here, there, and stuff like that. And how do you keep managing the time? And the fact is, I'm just saying that I pray to God that my body is able to sustain because maybe by the time we start clocking 40, our body will start to say no. So we are just trying to maximize our time and you know, try to be more productive so that we can at least benefit from the very, you know, health we have at the very moment.
Yes.
So I think this is what SWOT analysis is all about, and I think it's very, very essential to perform or to conduct a SWOT analysis of yourself so that you should know where you have strength, where you have weaknesses, what opportunities you have, and what threats can potentially lead to your downfall. So I think this has answered the question.
Thank you so much, sir. When it comes
Yes.
to AI,
Yes.
how can we leverage AI? Okay. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. Go on. I'm listening.
Yes. When it comes to AI, how can we leverage on AI to increase our own productivity in our day-to-day activities, and how can we leverage on AI to solve our own problems, maybe at the community or local level?
So, you see, whenever such a question is asked to me, wallahi, it put me in a very serious chaos. Not that I don't know the answer, but because the answer is too huge for just a statement or two. And the reason is that there are a lot of ways, there are ample opportunities out there. There are many, many ways we can actually leverage AI in our daily work. Now, let me tell you a few based on experience, my daily experiences. Now, I work with a university, and initially in those days, the work that will take me a week or two to complete now will only take me 2 hours, for example, and thanks to AI. Now, if you are asked to create a timetable, for example, for the final for the second semester examinations, in the past we have to sit down, we have to work as a team, we have to put all the names of the lecturers, the venues, we have to ensure there are no clashes and so on. Come on, who does that now? All I have to do is to create a table, tell the AI that I have 10 venues, I have 10 lecturers, I have 10 courses,
Yes.
and I have slots, and I have two students from one department having a carryover. So please note that I don't want any course to clash. So I will just ask AI, please give me a draft of a timetable, and trust me, within a matter of nanoseconds, not second, because second is too slow. Between, you know, within 2, 3, 4 nanoseconds, I will be able to have a very comprehensive timetable that is flawless, you know, and nobody will challenge the fact that it is accurate. Now, this is one way I use AI to make my work easy. Now, before, you know, in those days when we are computer results, we have to go through Excel to do a lot of computation and so on and so forth. Who does that now? All I have to do is supply the name of the students, their scores, and tell AI to do whatever I want. It will just happen within a matter of seconds or nanoseconds. So I think this is another thing. Now, another thing is that I wanted to travel for a holiday, and it was my first time traveling to that part of the world, and I felt it could just been easier for me to ask AI to design or to propose a holiday activity for me. And I just provided the location, the timing, the date, and the places I intended to visit. And AI just sorted everything out and told me that it's good to visit so and so place. And there are places you should also do, there are routines you should also take. And trust me, everything was just there in front of me. And this is one of the beauty of AI. Now, sometimes, you know, in the past when things get difficult, and I don't want to share my issue with someone because, sorry to say, now we live in a very cruel world where people will be very happy to listen to you and then expose you.
Yeah.
So I find this AI very intelligent. Sometimes I talk to AI as if I'm talking to a friend. And guess what? I get some of the best advice ever. Now, let me see if I have a paper in front of me I would like to share with you. I recently engaged into agreement between myself and a Kekena Pep guy. I have some couple of Kekena Pep. So I've never drawn an agreement letter between myself and anybody. So I asked the AI to please help me draft this letter. I mean, this agreement. And guess what? It gave me everything I needed. I was, cow, this is too much. So I think AI has made life very easy. Perhaps I must warn you, don't rely on AI 100%. AI is still a baby, is still in the premature stage, and there are a lot of drawbacks. For example, a friend of mine shared a story with me. He was suffering from some kind of infection in his anal opening, and then he requested from an AI that this is the symptoms I'm having, and the AI recommended a medication. Now it turns out that the medication is a kind of medication that the women put in their vagina. So just imagine somebody was looking for a medication for his anus. He ended up getting something for vagina, and it sounds very crazy. So I really always recommend that people should be very, very careful how they use AI in their day-to-day work, because AI is still in the making process, and there are a lot of things that we need to really take care of before we dwell into AI 100%. I don't trust AI, especially now. I don't trust AI, and I will never trust AI, and I recommend nobody should trust AI. AI is not human, and we are human. Humans are smarter, so we shouldn't allow AI to dictate or to decide on how we run our lives. Perhaps we can use AI for our day-to-day work, and it has to be 100% guided. It has to be under full supervision. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, sir. And like the concern you raise, my own concern or our own concern is how about this AI learning more about ourselves, that it knows our own activities, and how about the issue of privacy and the rest?
As far as privacy is concerned, AI has nothing to do with your privacy.
Okay.
Rather, it is the people who develop the AI that have everything to do with your privacy. Now, take for instance, you design an AI system, and AI are very much concerned about your privacy. They can't just expose your data without your permission. Now, somebody who designed the AI to carry out such a task for them, definitely they can manipulate the AI to do whatever they want. For example, AI is used for adversarial purposes. For those of you who don't know the word adversary, we mean to use something that is designed to do good, but to use it for bad. So people use AI in an adversarial way to create, for example, in the past, we can launch a hack on a target and then wait for the hack to activate. But nowadays, all you have to do is to design a bot, and then you allow the bot to communicate with your target. And when it is time for the AI to launch an attack, it will launch an attack. And trust me, today, these are some of the attacks we find very difficult to cure or to prevent. Because when an AI is used in an attack, then it has to be an AI. It can't be you and AI. It has to be AI and AI. It has to be a very powerful AI then. So this is one problem. I recently did an interview with a radio station, and they asked me this question, whether I think AI can actually end humanity, or AI can actually dominate humanity. I said, yes, it can. Now, to answer your question, alongside this question, I would say that AI learns from humans. And imagine a life or a situation whereby every single thing we do today has been given to AI to do for us. Now, one thing about AI is that AI becomes stronger when it learns. Now, the more data you provide an AI, the better AI becomes in learning. So every day AI is learning. Now, imagine in the past, I would develop the timetable by myself. I will learn from my mistakes. I will understand my flaws. But now I'll just give it to an AI to do it for me, which means slowly, eventually, my skills for developing a timetable are reducing, and I'm now empowering AI, because each time I give an AI the task, AI is learning, and each time it makes mistakes, it is learning from the mistakes, which means I'm gradually reducing my expertise and handing over my expertise to an AI. So imagine if this continues for the next 50 years. It means that AI will learn humanity so much that AI understands our sentiment, it understands our emotions,
Yes.
it understands our way of life. There is nothing we can do to compete with AI. it will just beat humanity hands down, because for 50 years you have been teaching AI everything about yourself. So just imagine. So just like Elon Musk would say, although many people think Elon Musk is crazy, but but trust me, I believe he's a very intelligent person who has a lot of insights for the future. And for me, I think we should be very, very careful how we use the AI, and the development of AI should have limits. We thank God that there are some regulatory bodies around the world that are struggling so much to see that AI has been, regulated in such a way that it does not harm humanity. But honestly, it will harm humanity. In the past, when somebody, they say, well, the more you write, the more you learn. But nowadays, AI is doing most of the writing for you. So what do you expect? How would you learn? I don't think learning will be facilitated here adequately with AI.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I think I can see somebody raising his hand, and I believe other people have some questions. To summarize, what you have just said, that is all about interest, doing a short analysis of ourselves, and we shouldn't trust AI that much.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. So I believe some people have some questions to ask, and we also have here. Okay, okay, okay. I believe Malam Maharazu. Malam Maharazu.
I think he raised up his hand by mistake when you first said we should all raise up our hands.
Okay, okay, okay. So I believe
Yes.
some people have some questions here, or maybe if you have any question, you can raise your hand, please.
Malam Musa just posed a question. He says, please, can you read the question again? It just disappear.
Okay, please, what are the
Okay, the question is, okay, go ahead.
okay, please, what are the examples of AI apps or softwares? Software.
Now, when you ask this question, Malam Musa, that what are the example of AI tools? Now, there are millions or billions of AI tools. You have to be specific. What aspect of AI? There are tools for writing. There are tools for image generation. There are tools for various activities. So, what kind of tools are you talking about?
Then Abdul Hafiz is asking, what advice do you have for individuals who are transitioning their career into the tech industry, especially in roles involving AI and advanced technologies?
So, Mr. Abdul Hafiz, all I would say is that the sky is the limit. You should go for it, and whatever industry or whatever field of computing or tech you want to dwell into, I recommend you should really, really, really go for AI, and you should really study AI, because in the end, it will help you in so many ways. It will facilitate your work. It will ease your work. For example, if you are a developer today, we all know there are AI tools that can develop a website for you in a matter of seconds. Now, in the past, as teachers, we used to accept projects from students involving development of web applications and so on, but we stopped, because we believe when a student says they want to develop a system, we know AI will develop it for them. So it's really good if you are in the tech industry to have these skills, so that a lot of these things can actually be done for you easily, because now business is about timing, and time is money. The more time you waste, the more money you lose sometimes.
Yes.
So I recommend that you should really go for this technology. It's interesting, even the basics. If you don't want to go deep into it, perhaps the basic will really help you in your endeavor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we have Muhammad Alaji Muhammad. Okay, we have Muhammad Sana Usman. Okay, Muhammad Alaji Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, my lecturer.
Uh,
My
Good
my
morning.
yes, my concern here is about SWOT analysis. Um, from the audience, I can see and interacted with. Understanding of SWOT analysis may differ between among individuals. So I want you to elucidate on how are we going to identify these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Because to me, a strength may be a different thing, and then to others, strength may also be it will be based on the understanding of the word strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, sir, I want you to elucidate on if there is a kind of a framework that one can follow to identify and develop his strength SWOT analysis. I think that will help because I can see that understanding of that concept is a kind of is peculiar to all individuals. So a kind of generic framework that will help us to identify this SWOT analysis will help. Thank you very much.
okay, thank
All
you,
right.
Madam Muhammad.
Thank you so much, Madam Muhammad. So, first of all, uh, it is very important to really understand SWOT analysis and to understand the context in which it can be applied. Now, SWOT analysis is not peculiar to the field of computing. It's not peculiar to the field of science. It's not peculiar to the field of engineering. SWOT analysis is applied everywhere, not necessarily in, in the workforce, for example. SWOT analysis can be applied in your home, in dealing with your children, in dealing with your husband, or in dealing with your wife. It's a model, basically. It's a model that started from the social sciences. So it's something to do with behavioral concepts of analysis of things, how you study yourself or how to understand yourself. So it is something that really comes from that aspect. uh, the SWOT itself is the framework, is the model itself. All you have to do is to apply it on your various endeavors. It doesn't mean one has to only apply it when they are looking for a job, or when they are looking to expand their career, or when they are looking to change from one domain to another. This is something that can actually be applied everywhere. Now, to give you a quick example, uh, I just asked the AI to give me a practical understanding of the SWOT analysis and how it can be used. And here is what I have. For the strength, it says it asks you questions such as innovative approach. Okay, how do you intend to how do you actually what exactly do you have as a person? What innovative activity or what innovative skill do you have as a person? Number two, what talent are you able to develop as a person? And then, how friendly are you with the environment you work with, or with the environment you live in, or with the situation you are finding yourself? So these are some of the things we look at in terms of the strength. Now, in terms of your weaknesses, now your weakness could be limitation to funds. For example, there are a lot of students out there who are looking for mentorship, who are very much interested in dwelling themselves into these industries, but they don't have the necessary skills, and these skills require money. So it means that fund is the first limitation. Now, how do you overcome the problem of funding? To overcome the problem of funding, you have to look for places where you can actually source either free certifications, free trainings, or you have to leverage your time on YouTube and so on and so forth. Now, another thing is limited language. If somebody wants to do some work that requires the use of Ruby, one has to learn Ruby. Ruby is not a very common language, which means you have to learn Ruby from scratch. Now, another thing is that sometimes lack of enthusiasm. No, nobody is there to mentor you, to tell you whether you are doing the right thing or not. So perhaps this may be some of your weaknesses. Now, how do you grow? How do you grow? Using opportunities. Now, you can expand your knowledge through acquisition of new skills. You can expand your knowledge through mentorship, through acquiring information from people that live within your environment. and so on and so forth. And then, of course, your threats may be your competition, maybe the lack of opportunities in your area, maybe the lack of time, lack of resources, and so on and so forth. So I think this is a practical representation of what a SWOT analysis is, and anybody can actually put SWOT analysis to use, regardless of their field, regardless of their discipline, regardless of their situation. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. I think there are some questions and we don't have much time. It is a 1 hour session. And
Yes.
the question is, how can somebody that is a nurse and passionate about tech combine the two and make a career in AI?
Well, I'm not too good. I'm not too familiar with the nursing discipline. I believe it's something to do with the healthcare.
Yes.
All I will say is that I don't know whether they use some practical tools or something. I don't know really. This question may be very difficult for me to answer because of my lack of knowledge in the field of nursing. But perhaps in the field of medicine in general, I know AI can be used for medical diagnosis, and I'll give you two instances. During coronavirus, I think AI is the reason we had a very quick breakthrough during coronavirus. AI was used for the detection of COVID-19 virus quicker than the humans could do. And secondly, during the development of coronavirus vaccine, AI was used, especially something we call data augmentation. At the very time when coronavirus started, the virus was very, very unpopular at that time, and there were no resources to be able to study the virus properly. So we used AI to generate data, even though the data did not really exist in large quantity. So when you don't have much data, AI can help you to generate data from unexisting data. And today we can see a lot of pictures on the internet, somebody using AI to generate a picture. These are all the work of what we call data augmentation or AI augmentation and so on. So AI can be used in medical diagnosis. It can be used in a lot of medical reinforcements.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I believe there are some people that have some questions, but we don't have much time. Muhammad Sani Usman, please can you ask your question very quickly, please?
Yes, thank you very much. The guest speakers have spoken well, and thank you very much, the organizers of this program. And my questions goes like this, Mr. Speakers. You've spoken about when you wants to make a trip, and you wants to get an information about that particular place that you wants to visit. Can that be applicable in terms of teaching and learning as maybe as a job seeker and he wants to know more about the schools in the particular locations? Can that be applicable? That's number one. Number two, this AI over team, can it be applied in terms of evaluating students, in terms of knowing their own performance and testing their intellectual capability? These are my questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right. To start with the last question, yes, I think you joined late, maybe. I already mentioned that I, as a person who is teaching in a university, I use AI to study my student, to understand performance, to understand scores, to understand weaknesses of my students. And if my students are here right now, they will testify to the fact that sometimes I will just give you a call and say, come and see me in the office. As soon as you arrive, I will tell you that you have social problem in this aspect and you need to improve in that aspect and so on. And this is AI actually. How could I have the time to study every of my students? I use AI to analyze my students, to analyze their performances and to understand their trends and create a correlation. And then to answer your second question, if not for the fact that I'm using my mobile phone right now, I have just made a demonstration for you to show you how I can be able to talk to my phone to tell me things I need to know about a particular place. For example, just imagine I'm entering Enugu and I'm looking for opportunities in Enugu, some place where I can quickly work for 10, 15 days to earn some money. All I have to do is just to talk to my phone and say, please, I'm in Enugu right now, and I just need to get myself something to do for the next 10, 15 days. Can you suggest some places where I can work? And trust me, in a matter of seconds, AI will tell me exactly what I need and where I have to be. So yes, AI can do all that for you. Even your phone can do that for you, because if you're using Android, Nowadays, this Android AI can actually give you a lot of information about yourself, about the places you've been, about what to do and what not to do, and some insight about the location you are visiting. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. And I believe maybe we are going to continue the conversation later during another session, inshallah. Thank you so much for always accepting our invitation. And thank you to everyone that have participated physically or virtually. With this, I would like to say Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much.